Hello and welcome. Our top story, senior BJP leader and former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Sushil Kumar Modi, has passed away after his battle with cancer. Sushil Modi breathed his last at AIIMS in New Delhi, where he was admitted and was in ICU for over a month. Sushil Kumar Modi had revealed in April that he was battling cancer and he would not campaign in the general elections. The stalwart leader was a member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha from Bihar. He is the former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar as well as the Finance Minister of Bihar from 2005 to 2013 and 2017 till 2020. Sushil Modi is survived by his wife and two sons. And Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, has tweeted after the passing away of Sushil Modi. He says, and I quote, "I am saddened by the news of the demise of our senior leader, Sushil Kumar Modi ji. Today, Bihar has lost a great leader of politics forever. From ABVP to BJP, Sushil ji held many important positions in the organization and government. His politics was dedicated to the interest of the poor and the backward. The void that had emerged in Bihar politics due to his demise cannot be filled for a long time." In fact, Rajnath Singh has also tweeted and he has said that I'm deeply saddened by the demise of Sushil Kumar Modi. His long public life was dedicated to the service of the people and the welfare of the poor. He worked hard to make the party strong and popular in Bihar. So, ex-Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi has passed away. The former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister has passed away at the age of 72. He was battling with cancer for over a month. Remember, in April, Sushil Modi was admitted at AIIMS, and it was then that he revealed that he was battling cancer and would not be campaigning in the Lok Sabha elections. Sushil Modi was the MP in Rajya Sabha from Bihar. He was the former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar as well as the Finance Minister of the state from 2005 to 2013 and then from 2017 to 2020. So the senior BJP leader and former Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Sushil Kumar Modi, after a long battle with cancer, has passed away. He breathed his last in AIIMS in New Delhi. He was admitted there and he was in the ICU for over a month. He had revealed this in April that he was battling cancer. He is survived by his wife and two sons. In fact, former Chief Minister of Bihar, Jitan Ram Manjhi, has also tweeted. Let's also go across to my colleague Prabhakar, who joins us at this point. Prabhakar, Sushil Modi, he was a big face of the BJP in Bihar. It is indeed a big loss for Indian politics in general.
Yeah, the biggest face, I would say. And Sushil Modi held very important positions in Bihar. Not only as a deputy chief minister, he was the minister concerned for many departments. He has been the BJP state president for long. And Sushil Modi was like a Bhisma Pitama in the Bihar politics. So as far as the Bihar is concerned and the BJP is concerned, Sushil Modi was the biggest name here. He was the first name which will come to your mind if you talk about BJP in Bihar. Sushil Modi had been in the helm of the affairs for BJP in Bihar for last 20-25 years. He was the biggest name out here. He was the guy who used to decide tickets and any political decision regarding BJP in Bihar would be taken. It would not be without Sushil Modi's consent. He took his last breath at AIIMS Delhi today at around 9:45 p.m. we are told. He was admitted there in the intensive care unit of AIIMS Delhi for last 1 month. He had been battling cancer for 2 years. But for last 1 month, he was in a critical condition. His treatment was going on not only at AIIMS Delhi, but also at the Tata Memorial Hospital, Mumbai. So he was getting treatment from both these hospitals. But for last 1 month, his condition was not stable. It was a fourth-stage cancer. So he was admitted for last 1 month at AIIMS Delhi, and he was undergoing treatment there. Today at 9:45 p.m., we are told, is when he breathed his last at AIIMS Delhi.
All right, Prabhakar Kumar, thank you very much for getting us all the latest. And violent clashes in Dachepalli Mandal between YSR, CP and TDP has been reported. There was a bomb blast in Gurrazala constituency of Palnadu district. A clash between YSR, CP and TDP broke out in Dachepalli Mandal, and that has been reported. Both factions attacked each other and threw bombs. The attacks were made with petrol bombs. Apparently, the revenue officer's bike was also burned by unknown persons. And Uma Sudhir joins us to get us more details. Uma, give us the details of what exactly happened.
So, multiple violent incidents, in fact, have been reported from Andhra Pradesh, from different areas of Andhra Pradesh, including mainly from Palnadu area. The entire focus today was, in fact, taken away, as you know, by the high-handed behavior of the YSRCP MLA from Tenali. But the visuals that we have been getting from the rest of Andhra Pradesh also extremely disturbing. The YSRCP, in fact, saying that their Bapatla MP, his car was attacked, and we've got visuals of the kind of attack that took place. People going around with rods and stones, and there was pelting. And in Tangeda village, in fact, there is a clash between the YSRCP and the TDP activists. In Macharla booths, EVM was destroyed, and the YSRCP claims that it was done by the TDP. Also in Jettipalam, Rentichintala, in Palnadu itself, that's another area where visuals have come in, often EVM being destroyed, and the YSRCP claiming that this was once again done by TDP. So the fact that we have seen a very high-pitched, kind of a campaign run up to this election, and on voting day, this kind of violent incident certainly doesn't augur well. But many of these cases, FIRs now being booked, and whether the Election Commission also will take note is something that we have to watch and see, because the YSRCP says that they have also sought repoll in certain areas.
All right, Uma Sudhir, thank you very much for getting us all the latest. Violent clashes between YSR, CP and TDP has been reported, and petrol bombs have been hurled, is what we can tell you at this point. Moving on, almost 62.9% of eligible voters have casted their vote for the fourth phase of the ongoing Lok Sabha elections in 96 Lok Sabha constituencies across 10 states and union territories. Now, polling is now complete in 70% of the Lok Sabha seats. The elections have now been completed in all the southern states. Srinagar witnessed highest turnout in 2 decades with 36.7% polling. There is a significant drop in voter turnout in Odisha in comparison to 2019. Now, this phase was dominated by non-aligned parties like Naveen Patnaik's Biju Janata Dal and YS Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSR Congress. Neither party has officially joined the ruling dispensation or the opposition bloc, though they have given issue-based support to the central government multiple times in the parliament. It was also the great battle of Bengal, as the state saw violent clashes on camera between the BJP and TMC supporters. The key opposition leaders contesting included TMC's Mahua Moitra, who is hoping to get back in parliament after her suspension over the alleged cash for questions issue. Apart from her, Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav, Congress's Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, TMC's Shatrughan Sinha and National Conference's Omar Abdullah were also in the fray. In an exclusive interview with NDTV, Dipender Hooda has claimed that after 3 independent MLAs quit BJP and joined Congress, the ruling BJP is now in a minority. He demanded precedence rule in Haryana and mentioned that the current chief minister should resign on moral grounds. Listen in.
Few days back, we have seen 3 independent MLAs. They have joined the Congress. They have withdrawn their support from the BJP. Do you think this is the shot in the arm of a Congress party?
See, every day you see a lot of leaders from the BJP are joining the Congress. Last 1 year, 40 MP, MLA, ex-MLA, ex-MPs have joined the Congress party from BJP and JJP, etc. Like you said, last week 3 MLAs have withdrawn support from the BJP and given support to the Congress. This government currently has been reduced to a minority government. Only 43 MLAs are supporting this government. That is why we demand immediate imposition of President's rule. A government which is minority government cannot be caretaker government for overseeing an election. This is unconstitutional. We demand either the Chief Minister should resign, the government should resign on moral grounds, or the governor should go for President's rule.
And sir, if we can talk about the floor test, are you agree to hold up floor test because
We are demanding floor test.
and if we can talk about the JJP has also given a support to the Congress, but a lot of baggage they are carrying at this point of time. We have seen specifically from the farmer side. So are you ready to forge any alliance with the JJP for forming the government in the state?
They have lost all credibility. The JJP as a party in terms of public support is actually completely, I don't think there is any public support left with them at all. Nobody believes them, nobody trusts them. They have lost their vote bank completely. So that's the situation with JJP. But yes, in this, since BJP broke the alliance and kicked them out, it will be their necessity to not vote with the in favor of the BJP, but to vote with the opposition.
So are you going to claim for the forming government in the state if you
That is not what we are wanting. The government is a minority government. Now, when the government has lost confidence in the assembly and they have also lost confidence among the people, it is most important to go for fresh elections. We demand fresh elections should be held in Haryana as soon as possible.
In an exclusive conversation with NDTV, Dinesh Sharma, the Rajya Sabha MP and former Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, also the BJP election in charge for Maharashtra, said that BJP will get overwhelming seats in Maharashtra and that there is a wave of support for Prime Minister Modi in the state. Listen in.
Also joining us now is BJP MP Dinesh Sharma, who is also the former Deputy Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh and presently the party in charge for Maharashtra. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharma, for speaking to NDTV. सर, एक यूपी के जो 13 सीटें आज जिन्होंने पोलिंग की है, उसमें से काफ़ी सीटें जो हैं वो रिजर्व कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसीज हैं और इसमें ट्राइबल और दलित वोट जो है बहुत ज़्यादा मैटर करेगा. इसके बीच ये जो ऑपोजिशन के क्लेम्स आ रहे हैं कि बीजेपी रिजर्वेशन पॉलिसी को ऑल्टर करेगी, आपको लगता है कि इससे आपकी पार्टी के परफॉर्मेंस को कोई प्रॉब्लम होगी?
मैं इतना कह सकता हूं कि जो ये लोकसभा का चुनाव है पूरे भारतवर्ष में बिल्कुल अलग प्रकार का हो रहा है. एक पक्ष है जो मोदी जी को तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बनाना चाहता है और दूसरी तमाम बड़ी शक्तियां मिलकर, चाहे वो किसी प्रकार की विपरीत विचारधारा की हो, वो इस बात के लिए चुनाव लड़ रही है कि मोदी जी ना आए. कौन आए ये उनके लिए नहीं महत्वपूर्ण है. महत्वपूर्ण ये है कि मोदी जी ना आए. मैं समझता हूं कि ये चुनाव मोदी मैजिक पूरे जो भारतवर्ष में चला है वो चढ़कर बोला है. मैं महाराष्ट्र में इसमें मैं प्रभारी हूं चुनाव का और पूरे देश का मैं लोकसभा जो विस्तारक योजना है बीजेपी की सबसे बड़ी योजना है जो चुनाव लड़ाएगी, उसका मैं नेशनल कन्वीनर राष्ट्रीय संयोजक हूं और मैं देख रहा हूं कि हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं में एक अलग प्रकार का उत्साह है, कॉन्फिडेंस है और जिस प्रकार से जो 10 वर्षों तक का प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में जो एनडीए की आज गांव-गांव तक बताने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ रही है. आज जाति और धर्म के बंधन भी तमाम जगहों पर टूटे हैं. कुछ जगहों पर ये प्रयत्न हुआ है विपक्ष के द्वारा कि उन्होंने धार्मिक स्थानों से वोट जिहाद का आह्वान किया है और कुछ जगहों पर तो उनकी हार की संभावना को देखते हुए उनके द्वारा माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के बारे में अपशब्द भी कहे गए हैं। ब्रह्मजाल फैलाने का भी एक दुष्चक्र पूरे देश में चला है कि 400 सीटें इसलिए मांग रहे हैं कि वो जो है वो आरक्षण को समाप्त कर देंगे। इन लोगों को ये पूछना चाहिए कि 2/3 बहुमत तो पहले से रहा है, बीजेपी के पास 10 साल रहा है। आरक्षण की तरफ कोई देख नहीं सकता। ये प्रधानमंत्री का वक्तव्य प्रारंभ से रहा है कि उनके रहते कोई परिवर्तन नहीं हो सकता। उन्होंने ये भी कहा है कि बाबा साहब भीमराव अम्बेडकर के संविधान की तरफ कोई बदलने की संभावना तो छोड़ दीजिए, किसी प्रकार की छेड़छाड़ का भी कोई साहस नहीं कर सकता है। ये वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने संविधान की धज्जियां उड़ाई। 56 बार इंदिरा जी ने सरकारों को बर्खास्त किया था। नरसिम्हा राव जी से लेकर राजीव गांधी जी से लेकर और मनमोहन सिंह जी ने कई बार किया। अगर यही तानाशाह होते, संविधान से खिलवाड़ करने वाले होते, तो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के 10 साल के कार्यकाल में एक भी सरकार बर्खास्त नहीं की गई।
मिस्टर शर्मा, आप प्रभारी भी हैं बीजेपी के महाराष्ट्र के। महाराष्ट्र बहुत ज्यादा जो है इंटरेस्टिंग स्टेट बन गया है इस बार इलेक्शंस के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में। इस बार जो इलेक्शन हुआ था फेज 4 में, वो मराठवाड़ा में हुआ है। जालना, जलगांव, बीड में बहुत सारा हमने जो है मराठा प्रोटेस्ट भी देखा था। कुछ आपके ओबीसी लीडर्स जो भी हैं उन्होंने भी इसके बारे में बात की है। आपको लगता है कि ये मराठा रिजर्वेशन इस सेंटिमेंट के कारण आपकी पार्टी पे कोई पार्टी के परफॉर्मेंस पे कोई असर पड़ सकता है?
मैं बिल्कुल आपको अपने कॉन्फिडेंस के आधार पर इसलिए कह सकता हूं कि 48 में से 38 सीटों पर मैं स्वयं लोकसभा की गया। बाकी सीटों के लोगों के साथ में मेरी बैठकें भी हुई हैं और मैं विश्वास के साथ कह सकता हूं कि महाराष्ट्र एक चौंकाने वाले और अभूतपूर्व परिणाम देने जा रहा है। यहां पर किसी प्रकार का कोई भी प्रभाव नहीं है, किसी का एक ही प्रभाव है, वो है मोदी मैजिक। मोदी जी के कार्यों का प्रभाव, चाहे कोई भी प्रत्याशी लड़ रहा हो, हमारा मित्र पक्ष का हो या बीजेपी लड़ रही हो। सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि जो हमारा कैडर बेस कार्यकर्ता है, उसने मंडल से लेकर बूथ तक और बूथ से लेकर पन्ना प्रमुख तक के गठन किया है। हमारे विस्तारक, हमारे पदाधिकारी, नेता सब एक मत होकर लगे हैं। जहां हमारे सिंबल के प्रत्याशी ना होकर मित्र पक्ष के हैं, एक अनुपम, जिसको कहना चाहिए उदाहरण के योग्य है, ऐसा सामंजस्य यहां पर स्थापित हुआ है जैसे बीजेपी 48 के 48 सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ रही हो। आज एक ही नारा है यहां पर कि हमें मैक्सिमम पिछला रिकॉर्ड को ब्रेक करना है जो हमारी जीत का था।
Welcome back. It was a sea of saffron in Varanasi as Prime Minister Modi conducted his roadshow. Prime Minister will be filing his nomination on Tuesday as he seeks a third term from Varanasi. Remember, Prime Minister Modi, he won in 2014 and 2019 and he is now aiming for a hat-trick. It was a mix of religion, culture and politics in the temple town on Monday. Rains and gusty winds lashed parts of Mumbai and neighbouring metropolitan areas, disrupting metro, local train and air services temporarily. Unfortunately, a hoarding fell in Ghatkopar East, due to which 100 people were trapped. 9 people have been killed and over 70 injured in this tragic incident. Maharashtra government has ordered a high-level probe and an audit of all the hoardings will also be done in Mumbai. An FIR has been registered against the owner, Bhavesh Bhide.
पहले तो रेस्क्यू करना ज़रूरी है और रेस्क्यू टीम यहाँ काम कर रही है और रेस्क्यू टीम और भी कई गाड़ियाँ यहाँ पर फंसी हुई है, उनको निकालना ये हमारी प्रायोरिटी है। और जो भी क्रेन है, हाइड्रा है, सब यहाँ पर लगाया और अभी जो जितने भी होर्डिंग है मुंबई में उसका स्पेशल ऑडिट हो, स्ट्रक्चरल ऑडिट हो। जो विदाउट लाइसेंस, विदाउट परमिशन है उनको काट दिया जाए, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई की जाए।
एक्चुअली सर मैं वहीं पे था, तूफान वगैरह चल रहा था तो गाड़ी हम लोग ने साइड में पार्क करी। वहाँ पे तूफान की वजह से हम लोग थोड़ा रेस्ट करे, बारिश वगैरह ज्यादा था ना वो टाइम पे, तो और मेरा फ्रेंड वहाँ पे थोड़ा स्टे करने के लिए गए, तो रैंडमली हादसा हो गया, तूफान आ गया, ऊपर जो एडवर्टाइजमेंट का बोर्ड था ना कोई बिल्डर का, वो नीचे आ गया, उसके ऊपर जो पार्टीशन वगैरह था सब गिर गया, नीचे जितनी पब्लिक थी, 4 व्हीलर थी, 2 व्हीलर थी, सब स्टक हो गए, सब आप अपनी जान बचा रहे थे, उसमें बच्चे लोग थे, फीमेल थे, बहुत सारे लोग थे, तो उनका बहुत सारा नुकसान हो गया। हमने हमारी जान बचाने से पहले लोगों को कोऑपरेट करा, वहां से बाहर निकाला है, उसके बाद भी हम लोग कैसे बाहर निकले, तो जो भी नुकसान हुआ रहेगा, किसी का कुछ दिक्कत हुई रहेगी तो उसका क्लेम होना चाहिए।
That's all we have for you. Keep watching NDTV.